Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I'm welcoming you to yet another wonderful review of Co-Parenting with the Sperlings that airs every Thursday on Dennis Sperling's channel. And this is a review of episode 3, Mama Drama. All right, so we are just going to jump right into it. So Stephanie, which is Dennis's ex-wife and the mother of his children, was disappointed at the news that Dennis's other ex-girlfriend was actually pregnant. Okay. He called her to discuss that, or to tell her that that is what is happening, just so things would not be some type of surprise, or she wouldn't be blindsided later on down the line by this news. So basically, as soon as he found out and had that confirmed, then he went ahead to tell his ex-wife that his ex-girlfriend was pregnant. So he only discussed it briefly. He seemed to only want to talk about it to the extent that he wanted to talk about it. Stephanie wanted to discuss it more, right? She wanted to discuss it more in depth. And she kind of wrestled with feeling a way about the news. Now, as the episode went on, she went to sort of explain that, well, you know, I'm concerned about the dynamics and our boys and, you know, things of that nature. And that may have been true about what she was concerned about. But as a woman, I'm going to say this point, and then I'm going to say the point that I want to make. She actually ends up talking to a friend about it. And that conversation that she had with her friend prompted her to actually revisit talking to Dennis about it, because it was her friend's advice. And see, this is where you get your friends get involved. It was her friend's advice to talk to the ex-girlfriend. Now, personally, I don't feel like that would have been Stephanie's place to talk to the ex-girlfriend about a baby that's on the way in a relationship she didn't have nothing to do with. And that news in and of itself has not caused any problem, or it has not interrupted anything. So I wouldn't have recommended doing something like that in the first place. I think that's where you start getting into masculine energy, where you're trying to control the outcomes of things, and you're trying to control like how things are going with things that are beyond your control, actually. And so once she talked to her friend about it, she didn't call the girlfriend, but she did call Dennis back in order to talk to Dennis about this situation. And so she basically tried to make it about her current family dynamics being affected. But in reality, as a woman, her heart, or maybe even her ego, affected. And this is what I mean by it. As it stood at that point in time, she was the only mother of his children. Sometimes women take that as some type of badge of honor or a status with the man, whether they're with that man or not, especially if that's an ex-husband or something like that. Sometimes women are like, they're the mother of his children, right? And they'll pull that as a rank, depending on the circumstances, depending on the conversations, right? And when I say pull that as a rank, like, she may not mind that he has moved on with other women to have other relationships with them, but as long as they don't hold that status or that title, mother of his children, right? See, up until that point, she's the only mother of his children. Now, this other lady comes along and is pregnant So therefore, she's not going to be just the only mother of his children. She's not going to be able to pull that card. Well, I'm the mother of your children, as in I should take priority in your life in certain situations because I'm the mother of your children, not these other women. These other women are a dime a dozen. They're here and there. You know what I'm saying? They are come and go, but they aren't the mother of your children. Now there's another one involved. So as a woman, yeah, it could have been about family dynamics, but at that point, the dynamics were not interrupted. The baby has not arrived. So anyway, that was sort of what I gathered from her very much concern over the fact that his ex-girlfriend was pregnant with his child, because it's like no matter who else he has a relationship with, like I said, she holds that stat. She's not only the ex-wife, she's the mother of his children. That's a different title. And now it's no longer exclusive to her. So she was feeling away about that not being exclusive no more. Now she doesn't have any exclusivity. Now she doesn't have anything that makes her special to him, or of a special status with him, or of a special priority to him. Little do women kind of realize that you don't stop being the mother of his children just because another woman becomes a mother of his child or children. You don't actually stop being that. You are that. That doesn't stop. No matter whoever else has a child by this man, you had children by him. So therefore, you're always the mother of his children. Now, those dynamics are going to change as time goes and the children get older and things of that nature. But you're still the mother of his children, and he's still going to prioritize all of his children. It's just an additional child. So therefore, if there's an additional child, he's going to prioritize his children. Not you, his children. It's the difference. Going back to the speaking to the girlfriend. Like I said, that was masculine advice. Ladies, don't do that. Do not insert yourself in your ex's romantic relationships, no matter how shallow or how deep those relationships are. They are not your business. Trying to talk to an ex, trying to talk to a current girlfriend, trying to talk to all these people, unless you already had a rapport with them some kind of way, there is no reason to involve yourself in a situation that doesn't involve you. Stephanie's interests with her children would have been indirectly affected, but not directly. So the concept of speaking to the ex-girlfriend about the dynamic, she don't know no dynamics. She don't know what's going on. All she knows is she's pregnant. And she's got in her head what she want to do or how she wants to go about that. But that doesn't have anything to do, and it has nothing to do with your interests. They may conflict. It may be conflicting interests, but that ex-girlfriend not going to care. She don't care. She doesn't care about the interests of the ex-wife and her kids. Like, she don't care about that. Y'all be trying to talk to these people like they care, or like there's supposed to be some camaraderie here because we having children by the same man. Not necessarily. Unless you were in a polygynous relationship. And even then, that may not be your business. That depends all upon what the previous rapport was with that woman and whether or not you have the comfortability or the leeway to even talk at all. Because you don't know. You don't know how that other woman feels or what her responses are going to be. They may not be favorable responses, and now you're going to be mad. But you called. You didn't have no business calling. That is something that Dennis needs to handle. All of the dynamics, how they play out, how smoothly they play out, that is for Dennis to plan. And for him to make sure that things go a certain kind of way in order to make it easy for him to be a father, make it easy for the siblings to be close to one another, get to know one another, and things of that nature. What the women do, I don't see why the women need to do anything with one another at all, have any type of contact. That's a situation where they don't need to contact each other. Let Dennis arrange. When he see his other boys, he can see that baby or whatever. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Ladies, stop getting into certain aspects of business, especially your ex's business, that don't got nothing to do with you. You may feel a way, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's got something to do with you, or that you need to do anything, or that there's some action that you need to take. Not necessarily. You can feel how you feel, but that doesn't necessarily mean you got an action that you need to take on the back of that feeling. You have to control your feelings. And actually, she did a decent job. She ends up talking to that lady anyway. Now, she say that the lady called her. Okay. And so she reported that to Dennis, that conversation on how the lady was going to do this and that. And how she didn't love him like he needed to be loved. But, it was a lot of conversation that shouldn't have been had. I'd have redirected that all the way to Dennis. I'd have redirected that conversation. Listen, I wasn't there when a baby was being created. So I'm not there as the plans for that baby's arrival are being made. I don't have nothing to do with that. You call him and you tell him what you gonna do. Don't tell me. I'm not a messenger girl. I ain't been involved in damn piece of communication up until the end. You can call me and try to communicate nothing to me, girl. But see, this is how messes get started. This is how the mess gets started. Dennis eventually has this conversation with Stephanie in a more in-depth way to sort of ease her concerns, or what she said her concerns were, which goes a long way to smooth things over down the line so that she doesn't continue to feel some type of way negatively, and that sometimes that can stew and stir, and it'll stir trouble later on. So it was a good idea for him to speak to her, just to head certain things off of the past. You never know. Stephanie seems to be rather level-headed to a certain degree, but there's still that chaos that women bring to situations. So I thought that this episode was really interesting in terms of getting into a little bit more of what Stephanie be thinking about when certain things happen, and how sometimes the friends, and that's not to say you shouldn't have somebody that you can talk to that will support you or that will give you good advice, but you got to make sure your friends are giving you sound advice and not yes people, and they're not on that foolishness type of time. They able to tell you you're on, you're being negative or you're about to cause some trouble. So you can have your friends, but make sure they're not lackeys, and that these people tell you the truth about you and truthful advice, good advice about what you should do. All right. Okay. So once again, you can check out this wonderful reality TV show that is airing on Dennis Sperling's channel. The link to this particular episode is going to be in the description box. Go ahead, check it out, watch the episode, subscribe to the channel, and wait with bated breath every Thursday evening for the co-parenting with the Sperlings to come on, be entertained, okay? Support the channel, support the show, support positive imagery of Black men and Black families. And that's what this is really, really about, at least for me. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.